makeover narratives. I don't like them. At all. They rarely work, they're extremely predictable, and Miss Congeniality falls under that category. Miss Congeniality was released in December 2000. It stars Sandra Bullock, before she won an Oscar. Way before that, she was mostly known for doing rom-coms and some action films, rom-com action films. Oh, and sometimes a drama film here and there, such as Crash, which won an Oscar. And for the longest time, she bothered me, and I couldn't pinpoint why at first. Then I rewatched Miss Congeniality, and then I watched the sequel. She's the actress, you know, can do well, and when she gives it her 110%, she's phenomenal. For future reference, please see Gravity, and to a lesser extent, The Blind Side, but more so Gravity. And this one other film, can't remember it. Miss Congeniality is about Gracie Hart, who's an FBI agent. She kicks ass, but she's not feminine. She's awkward, she laughs weird. And she fucks up her mission at the beginning of this film and is already to desk duty, because why not? She has this crush on Eric, played by Benjamin Bratt, who's the epitome of meet cutes and hot guys that the geeky girls have a crush on, and you know they'll end up together at the end, but let's add the cliche of misunderstanding. The mission in the film is go to this beauty pageant and find a terrorist only known as the Citizen. Eric is left in charge of the mission, but he realizes they need a woman to go undercover. He chooses Gracie even though she's awkward and tomboyish, but that's okay because we can give her a makeover courtesy of Michael Caine. Okay. And you all know the makeover montage. It's been done over and over and over and over. Oh God, she's pretty when you put a dress and makeup and heels on her, even though the only thing she really needed was a hairbrush to make her hair not look as messy. Oh my God! She's pretty underneath it all! Oh, and of course they make her a feminist, and she's that type that just condones makeup and all that girly junk, because all feminists look and think like that. Actually, I know quite a few feminists that pamper themselves and apply mascara. I am not one of them, but I know plenty who do. But that's a whole nother thing. For starters, the woman in charge of this pageant, Kathleen Morningside, even says herself that she knows that this is anti-feminist, but tries to make it up by adding the whole academic thing into it. Okay, Kathy. Oh yeah, and William Shatner is in this as the MC, but at least he's somewhat entertaining because of his acting. Guess who the Citizen is? No, really, guess. The rest of the film is just Gracie bonding with the other contestants, especially Miss Rhode Island, and Gracie and Eric's budding relationship, I guess. Add the misunderstanding, and I think you can guess how this ends. Of course. While I don't like this film, and I don't think it's very funny other than this one line.
Describe your perfect date.
It's a tough one. I'd have to say April 25th, because it's not too hot, not too cold. All you need is a light jacket.
It's not the worst thing ever. The big problem with it is how they poke fun at Gracie's character, and how the men in the FBI are portrayed. Before they decide who should go undercover, there's this scene where they surround a computer and play dress up with all the women agents here. That's sort of another problem I have with this film. There are women agents, but you don't really see Gracie interact with them. Because the rest of the women agents are well-groomed and not awkward, and don't laugh like her. To be honest, who does laugh like that? Shut up. At least she gets the award of being Miss Congeniality. And then the sequel happens.
Miss Congeniality 2, Armed and Fabulous.
And it's a shit ton worse. Well, the bright side is that they added the character of Sam, Gracie's bodyguard, as a way for them to interact. They become BFFs, but before they get to BFF status, they fight. Constantly. And the weakest part is why they fight. Well, Sam does mention that she's there to protect her and follow orders, and that's really about it. But don't people usually become friends with their bodyguards? What's even worse is Gracie's character development, or rather, how she gets so cocky in the sequel. And judging how she was in the last film, this seems very out of character for her. Plus, Gracie just stayed girly and becomes a celebrity. At one point, she meets this awkward girl just like her and does this.
Hey, your name, please?
Priscilla.
Priscilla.
I have to do a book report. I want to do it on your book because I want to be an agent too.
Well, good for you. Thank you, Priscilla. Hi, your name is?
Angela.
Angela.
The other kids are doing their report on Beyonce or Britney. But if you come to my school and talk, they'd see why being an agent is so cool and stop getting on me.
I would really love to, but as you can see, the agency's got me pretty busy. There you go. Thank you very much. But what you could do is just pull your hair up every once in a while. It would really open up your face. Because remember, people care about people who care about themselves.
Okay.
The plot to the sequel is William Shatner and Miss Rhode Island, now the Miss whatever, getting kidnapped in Las Vegas, but that part of the plot is pretty much an afterthought, because we need to focus on the bickering between Gracie and Sam, so they can get to BFF status! Also, Gracie and Eric break up, but that's because Benjamin Bratt was busy. What was he making at the time, you ask?
What should we call her? Catwoman. You heard of her?
Oh, yeah. Hot.
Catwoman. Yes. You just had to go and be in Catwoman. Okay. When promoting the film, Sandra Bullock said, "I want women to be able to do the same thing men get to do in comedies and say, that's a comedy. Why does it have to always be a romantic comedy? Why does the girl have to end up with the guy? Why can't it be a buddy film?" She had good intentions, but if she wanted that to happen, she could have done that in the first film. But 8 years later, after Miss Congeniality 2 and all that nonsense, Sandra Bullock made that buddy film for women. Yeah. It was called The Heat.
The Heat.
That was pretty awesome.
And The Heat works better than Miss Congeniality 2 for several reasons. And even Miss Congeniality for starters. While the story is formulaic, the characters work and have chemistry. They're very much in the same business, but they both combine their strengths to get the bad guy at the end. Mullins, played by Melissa McCarthy, is a foul-mouthed woman who uses violence to get the job done, while FBI agent Ashburn, Bullock's character, likes to follow orders and protocol. And she's effective. She wants to move up in the FBI. Character rating 101. Your protagonists must have an I want, usually. In Miss Congeniality, I guess she wants the guy. She wants to be recognized. It's not really concrete. Miss Congeniality 2, she's just soaking in her newfound fame and pretty much out of character. And I guess she wants to save her friend. About it. In The Heat, she has a need to move up, but her new partner is in the way, and at first she doesn't like her because of her investigation tactics. But Mullins has a backstory. It turns out she has problems of her own for snitching her brother into jail. What do we know about Sam in the Miss Congeniality sequel? Well, she's black, and she's tough, and I guess there is some backstory on her, but then again it's vague and told in exposition. All of it. And that's why The Heat works better. It shows us what both women are going through. Heck, they even work the whole sexism in the workplace thing better. There are these two men who briefly appear and always look down upon them and make jokes about them. But the biggest moment is when Mullins and Ashburn split up, and Ashburn overhears the men making fun of Mullins because of her personality, and not being feminine. At this point, Ashburn defends her. Where was this in any of the Miss Congeniality films? Even more so the sequel. Where was this? Did I miss something? The Heat also works better as a comedy because of the situations they're in. In Miss Congeniality, it's usually winking at the camera that, ooh, beauty pageants are bad and anti-feminist, or ooh, hot women, little Gracie's awkward and not girly at all, and she can kick ass. And at the end of the day, if you want to see a buddy cop film with women that is done well, please watch The Heat. Also, there's no makeover narrative, and they don't need to be girly to be appreciated. They are characters that happen to be women without any of the stereotypes. After all, The Heat was directed by the same man who did Bridesmaids, and not the man who directed Jungle to Jungle. This isn't working at all. Never doing that again. This is why I don't do those narratives. Or rather, parody of these things. I do like the lipstick.